Wow, the scenes here at Elland Road are absolutely electric. It's been a Joel Piroe party with a little bit of help from Junior Firpo, Willie Nonto and the rest of the team. A dominant and calm display and another 3 points, and you can see just how much this means to the entire team there. The man that scored 4 goals smiling as he hugs his teammates, and the fans who have been on fire today, haven't they, Jermaine Beckford, in full voice all afternoon?
Yeah, they have, and they've been given something to get right behind as well. Right from the beginning of the match, we've been on the front foot. Every single one of those players out there today were absolutely phenomenal. Piroe, obviously, he's going to take the headlines, but every single one of those players, including all of the boys that came off the bench, were in scintillating form.
We'll talk about the substitutions shortly, actually, but let's talk about Daniel Farke, Bridgie, and how he's going to be feeling, because so often this season we've said that we don't see much emotion from him like we do with the out-and-arker Willie Nonto and the like. But you could just see there the way he was hugging the players and holding them, that this means a lot to him.
Absolutely, because he will understand the pressure that this group of players has been under to go and perform and execute the game plan. He wouldn't in his wildest imagination or dreams have thought that we could get this result at home. He would have been after 3 points, but to get that, it's just incredible. We've witnessed something special. Our floor's coming through because the fans are braying on the floor below us. You can see what's going on in the stadium. It's just an incredible night for Leeds United football, and for this young man to get a chance and an opportunity, Harry Gray, to become the youngest great to represent this football club.
16 years of age. Sum up how he'll be feeling right now.
He's earned the right to be there from his performances, but they actually think you're going to get on, and when you've been named on the bench, he'll just be pinching himself. And again, another one of the DNA of the Greys is going to be leaving a legacy at this football club. And it was lovely to see Eddie Gray in the stand, my assistant manager, shedding a tear knowing that he's just seen another one of his family members get an opportunity. And what an occasion. Boys have done their job. Now we go to watch Burnley and Sheffield United, and I'll tell you what, I am going to lose my voice cheering on Scotty Parker's men.
I'm surprised that you've not lost it already, Michael Bridges, because I have never seen Jermaine and Bridgie. These two looked like Harry Gray. You were like Harry Gray during that game, weren't you? Bouncing around all over the place. Jermaine, just sum up that game from your point of view, because we've witnessed some special games here at Elland Road, but this feels right up there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does indeed. And one of the most important things was we're not focused. We haven't been focused or distracted by what's going to go on in other games. We took this game as an isolated moment, isolated minutes, and just completely dominated from beginning to end. And that's exactly what Daniel Farke wanted to see. That's what all the fans wanted to see. You see the reaction, you can hear the reaction. My voice is starting to croak a little bit. I can hear it going.
You're getting emotional. You're just going to dry out.
A little bit of both. But it's incredible. And as a Leeds United fan, look, we go through ups and downs. We have tricky moments, tricky times, but you stick together as a family, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. A family. Incredible.
His words. I always hear Daniel Farke talk about the togetherness.
Yeah.
The players have said it in several interviews, the togetherness of this football club. And there's no denying it. You've got to go and play as players and execute what is going on. But Daniel Farke has masterminded this team. We missed out last season. He got the reaction that every fan and everybody wanted from his players this season, to go on and go one better. And to see what we've just witnessed, especially the first half performance, I'm blown away, absolutely blown away by this team.
You can see that Daniel Farke is really treasuring every moment there, and you can see what that means to him. We've seen the team play with such freedom today, Jermaine. Will that have been the message from Daniel Farke before they went out there today, despite knowing what was at stake?
Yeah. Don't think about what's going on in other games. Think about the here and the now. Enjoy yourself. Just realise where you are. We started the game at the top of the league, and we're there for a reason. Go and have fun. We're at an amazing stadium. We've got an amazing fan base behind us. It's a beautiful opportunity to show everybody here what we're about. Go and enjoy yourself, and we've seen the freedom that the players can play with. You can see Eddie Gray there as well. Look how happy he is, belting out the...
Yeah. And do you know what, Bridgie, looking at these scenes as well, a nod to everyone behind the scenes, because it's something that you mention very often. We see what we see on the pitch, and we give a lot of praise to Daniel Farke and the team, and rightly so. There's so much that goes on here at Elland Road and at the training ground that we don't see. So much hard work that goes into this, isn't there?
Yeah, of course. I call it the team behind the team.
Yeah.
Everybody that is involved behind this football club, we're going to the canteen the volunteers that make it. There's a lot goes into this football club to make it what it is. And like you say, to be at the head of this helm, to set the culture that goes down, to make sure the players are doing the day-to-day duties, not only on the field but training ground, but all the PR moments that you've got to do, working with the community. Some players can get really, oh, do we have to go and do that? I've never seen that once when we've been asked to get involved and do things with them. We've got a great culture, but it's about executing that in the field, and they do it to a maximum. And the team behind this man, he's the catalyst.
He really is. Look, we know what that means, that win.
I'm just going to give him a wave out the window because he's just come past us. Well done,
Hiya,
boss.
Daniel.
Well done, big
Thank
man.
you very much. Well done. Look, we always give us a wave back.
He saw
That
us.
was just for us, that. Look, we know what this means in terms of the promotion push, but Bex, how will the players be feeling right now?
Ecstatic, because they know it's so close to making it into the Premier League. So close. They don't have to do anything now. Feet up, relax, go and watch the Burnley Sheffield United game. Yeah. Cheer on the Clarets.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard to get one of them for an interview.
Yes.
To come out now, because I ain't coming out to talk to us if I'm in there. I'm in the dressing room going mad and celebrate.
They deserve it.
True, right?
You
Yeah,
celebrate
absolutely.
your hearts, but please someone come and talk to us as well so we can
I'm
say
even
well
cuddling
done.
pillows and things. I'm more nervous now than I was before the game.
Yeah, you've been so excited for this, haven't you, Bridgie? And it really has been. I mean, I was genuinely nervous ahead of this one, but if we'd have known what a dominant display we were going to put in,
Wouldn't
and
have
how,
believed
no,
Not in the manner in which we started
we
the
said
first half,
3-0.
especially.
it's
No
almost
way.
like it's been turned up yet another gear today, isn't it?
But so for them players to go and do that in this moment of the season, when you need a win before the biggest game of the Championship is going to be coming next, of Burnley and Sheffield United, to go and do that, I don't know where that mindset has come from. It's special.
Well, it's confidence, isn't it, Bex? That is confidence within your own ability, and what we've always said, we can only control the controllables, what's in front of us.
Yeah, exactly. And something that I find really interesting is the mentality of the Burnley and the Sheffield United players right now, because they would have both seen the first half and seen the dominant display, and then the full-time result here, and it's 6-0, Leeds United at home. So clearly, Leeds are on one. Now, both of them are going toe-to-toe, and this is going to be such an intense, high-pressure game, because both teams are going to think, right, well, we can't afford to drop points here.
I'd have been interested to know if Wilder had said to the Sheffield United players off social media, off phones, I don't want you to know that, or whether he said, this is what we've got to do. So the mind games have started, but for us to go and do that has planted so many seeds of doubt for them.
But you know what it's like. If a manager says to you, you're not allowed to look at social media, what are you doing? First thing you're doing, social media, I'm checking league tables, I'm checking fixtures, I'm checking results, I'm speaking to friends and family to see what...
That's a dad speaking there, because 100%. I know what I say to my kids. And then you go, you're on it.
It is impossible to avoid, though, isn't it? But how will they be feeling, the Sheffield United and Burnley players, having seen that result, that performance, and knowing that they've got a game kicking off in less than half an hour?
I think it affects Sheffield United more than it does Burnley.
I think so.
All day long.
But both of them will be looking at that game going, what an epic performance.
And again, that's when the questions are asked. I remember seeing Wilder in the game against Plymouth where Sheffield United lost 3-0. I was buzzing. He's fighting in the tunnel with their players. He's angry, but he was wanting a reaction for his players. Say, I'm up for the fight. What are you going to do? Are you going to feel sorry? He got the reaction he wants, so it's going to be interesting to see what mindset they're going to come out against Burnley. And I think Burnley have got the upper hand because they're, like you say, they're at home. They've got the performance going, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, we'll be keeping our eyes peeled.
Come on, Burnley.
But in terms of today's game, have we seen a real golfing clash here, do you think, between Leeds United and Stoke City?
Yes. I think mainly because Stoke haven't really got anything to play for. So a few of their players, especially in the first half, were kind of half a yard off the pace, off the tempo, and the quality wasn't quite there. However, we've said it all along. We're Leeds United. We scored 88 goals this season. 88 goals this season is a phenomenal number. We're on track to being promoted as champions on 100 points as well. When you're looking at those numbers and those stats and those facts, and then you look at where Stoke are and what they've done this season.
Well, recent form's been
very good.
Yeah.
But as a whole, they've got less than half the points that we've got. They've scored not nowhere near any the amount of goals that we have. The nearest team to us.
Tell you about the surface, the weather, conditions.
Suited us.
Oh yeah, say it again. Just remind us, in case anyone doesn't join us for the build-up. Remind us what you said about the Oxford game, and then.
Just say the Oxford game. So teams, when I know that I'm playing against a team that are possession-based football and they love slick passes, so you water the pitch as much as they can, you get the grass as short as you can, like we do here at Elland Road. Oppositions will try and grow the pitch as high as they can to make the grass longer. It slows the ball down. They don't water it, so it becomes. So there was a big question mark when we played Oxford that the Leeds United went out with a tape measure to actually see
if it was legal.
See if it was a legal length. So when I saw the weather here, the conditions, you said it's wet, it's rainy, it's a miserable day. I was just, this is perfect for us.
Yeah, perfect.
Defenders and goalkeepers hate it. We've got possession, and you saw the dynamic passes that were going in between the defenders behind their lines for us to run onto. Just, that's why I wasn't so nervous.
Well, look, we'll have a look at some of the highlights very shortly, but a man we've spoken about so often is Joe Rodon, and we saw him in that game just saying to the subs, even at 6-0, to keep the pressure on. That sums him up, him and his determination to succeed in this team, doesn't it, Bex?
It does indeed, but that's why he's been so successful here. Because he wants the best. He's going to try his absolute hardest. I think you had Bridgie had a chat with him not too long ago and spoke about him going for every single ball, every single challenge, and giving it his all, because his family are rugby people. Yeah. And there's no way that they would allow him to pull out of any challenge, would they? Otherwise,
he'd get grief for it.
Yes.
Exactly. So, but it's great because we're seeing the benefits of that, and it's rubbing off on the other boys.
I think the games he's played as well, the amount of minutes he's got through. I mean, he looked a broken man at the end there when he was struggling with cramp, but did he want to come off? Not a chance.
He epitomises what this Leeds United side stand for, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think I said to you before the game, Emma, when he signed a full contract at the start of this season, that was one of the signings of the season for me, because I'd seen how good he was previously, the previous season, and now he knew he was going to be here, so you can focus and get your family settled in, you can settle yourself down, knowing that you're going to be here, and I think it's paid dividends knowing that Ampadu's here, DJ from his international career. There's nothing better when you're loving your football. So,
and it certainly shows.
And we've reaped the benefits as fans.
Look, it would have been easy after that first half, Bex, for the team to just drop off. But the relentlessness, the ruthlessness and the commitment we really saw in that second half, they just didn't stop, did they?
No, they didn't. And Daniel would have gone into the change rooms at half-time and said, that was an excellent performance, flawless. Go and show me more this second half. 5-0 is incredible. But we come out the second half and it's 0-0. I want you to win this second half. And that's exactly what we did. We would have liked to seen a few more goals, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's 6-0. 6-0 at home in a highly pressured, high-intensity game where there's a lot on the line, a lot at stake.
I was looking at the results. I don't know what the finish, but just before we went on air, I'm having a look. All the teams that are in the relegation were winning. All the teams that were in the playoff positions were losing. And so the playoff position now is opened right up. The relegation battle is still on. So they're feeling the pressure at both ends. They've got teams fighting life. And then we've gone and done that under a pressure situation on a day when we needed it. Just incredible.
Do you know what? It's a funny old game, isn't it, football? Let's have a look at that Joel Piroe hat-trick, shall we?
Just a few short clips, half an hour.
Yeah.
14 minutes of the finest.
Stay where you are and enjoy, because this was just pure. It was wonderful, wasn't it?
It was. And something we spoke about before the game is Joel Piroe, making sure he finds himself in these areas, these positions, which is where he's so lethal. And the finish there, it's not an easy one. He makes it look easy because of the way that he's finished it. But when the ball comes to him, it's almost behind him a little bit. So he's had to readjust his body ever so slightly and, excuse me, readjust his body. But the finish is fantastic. He's such a calm and collected character in front of goal that nothing bothers him, nothing phases him. You can see him here. He goes, puts pressure on. Look at his position. Look at his thought process. Right, where can I go to create problems? Pick the ball up there. Great finish. It's so difficult to deal with.
He's used the pace of the pass, hasn't he, to generate his own power. He hasn't had to do much, but like Jermaine says, when that is behind him, I'm still mesmerised how he's able to get his whole foot wrapped around that. This goal for me is the best, not just because of the finish. It's the press from Willie Nonto, it's the press from Bogle, and then how many times have we seen this throughout this season with our high pressing game in the final third to win the ball back and then gift other players a goal like this. However, he's still got so much to do, Joel Piroe there. He's got a defender, he's got to take his touch, a defender closing him down, and For any youngsters that are watching this, if you want to know how to be a good finisher, have a look what he does before he has his shot. He has a look and he takes a picture in his image, in his mind, as to where the goalkeeper is positioned himself. And what his brain is doing is telling him where the biggest angle is, or the best angle, for him to go and finish the ball. It's just a great finisher.
When you say that, Bridgie, that sounds quite simple, but actually when you think about the time that he has to have to do that, to take that image in his mind mentally and then put the ball in the back of the net, that is so difficult, isn't it, Jermaine?
For some, yeah.
Not for yourself.
No, it is. It's super difficult. But when you practice finishing after training every single day, the time slows down. And when you're in front of goal, you saw the first touch from Piroe with the instep of his left foot, time slowed down and he had an opportunity to finish the way that he did. But again, I go back to my previous statement about Joel Piroe and his position and his movement. Look at him here in the middle. It doesn't come to him yet. What does he do? He doesn't go in, he comes back out. Look at the space. That's where the space is there. And the finish, being under immense pressure from the defender, sliding in at pace, managed to lift it up and over him into the roof of the net, was absolutely fantastic.
He recognised that Farke, our left back, had actually gone
into his
stood
space.
in front of his position inside the 6-yard box. So he's adjusted his body. So you'll see Joel Piroe is in front of Farke. Exactly what Bex is talking about here. Farke's gone and then Joel goes, oh, hang on a minute, I'll take this back post area here. So there's a thing that we call POMOs, POMOs, and they're the points of most opportunity to score. And you cover the near post, you cover the middle of the 6-yard box, you cover the back post area, and you cover the penalty area. And as a striker, if you cover their main areas that we've done so well this season, the law of averages and stats say that you're going to score more goals in them positions. And you could count all of our 88 goals, you said, Jermaine, this season.
88, yeah.
Anything that's inside that penalty, I guarantee it's like a little T. We've been sensational at doing that.
19 of those 88, of course, scored by Joel Piroe, Championship's top goal scorer. We kind of touched on it at half-time, Bex, but is he a little bit underrated, Joel Piroe?
I think for his finishing, no. Because we've seen 19 goals, as you mentioned before, 4 goals today, absolutely unbelievable in front of goal. However, the question marks around Joel Piroe, they're not based on his finishing abilities, they're based more around his overall work ethic. And that's highlighted even more because of the way that we play football. Every single one of our players is really high intensity at the right times, don't get me wrong, but you've got the wingers up and down the pitch, tucking in and out. You've got the midfield players, box to box. You've got the fullbacks overlapping. Piroe's position is fantastic when it's just on the edge of the 18-yard box, and he very rarely sprints anywhere, but that's because he doesn't need to. He finds himself in the right areas at the right times. Yeah. He doesn't. Sometimes, somebody once said to me, the best way to create space for yourself is by standing still. And at times, that's what he does. And
I bet it took you a few games to work out how that actually meant.
It didn't make sense.
Because when I got told that, I was like, whatever.
Yeah. How can you make sense? How can you make space by keeping still? But everybody around you is making the movements, and as we saw in a couple of the clips there, the wingers are tucking in, they're going forwards, they're moving backwards, they're coming out, they're going in, and he just slows everything down and almost takes his time to the point where he's almost walking at times, and the game opens up around him, which gives him another opportunity to take a touch, slow his whole picture down, and then put the ball away.
I remember a question that, because Eddie Gray was giving us that advice as well. Find the biggest space. Sometimes you don't need to move, but he said it's like when you buy a house and you want to find the biggest plot of land. You want to buy that. He said when you're out there in the pitch, look for the biggest plot of land where there's the least amount of players in there and go drifting into that space, or have a look around. And if you're standing there and you're in the middle of the field,
stay there.
Yeah. And I was like, makes sense.
Yeah, it does make. Eddie Gray, though, isn't it? He always talks sense.
Well, now you know why the whole family go on.
Yeah.
I wish Eddie was my granddad.
It couldn't be your granddad. It's more like your dad's age, isn't he, Eddie? I'm joking. But look, let's talk.
Unfollow you. You're getting unfollowed. Everybody unfollow Instagram, Emma.
Let's talk about this collective nature of this team performance, though, because week in, week out, we say this. We have standout moments for players, but it's a collective performance, isn't it, Bridgie?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, this team are a unit. The culture is healthy. And what I love is the incentive. They all want to be the best that they can be, and performances like that and pressure moments when you've got a leader like Ethan and you've got players around him that want to spread the word, and you've got goal scorers like Joel. Oh my word, we've been in dream today. absolute heaven.
Well, I think we are joined by that very goal scorer. Joel Piroe and the captain Ethan Ampadu are over in the tunnel. Huge congratulations!
Get in there!
Bridget, we can't start this without you doing your singing and dancing.
No, get over the line.
Too early. Hopefully in a couple of hours.
It's too early.
Exactly.
We're only talking about today's performance. We loved it. Absolutely fantastic.
It's been a Piroe party up in here. Joel, huge congratulations. First up, how are you feeling after your performance?
Oh, thank you very much. To be fair, I'm very happy. Of course, it's a special day when you can score 4 goals. But I would say overall, I wouldn't say even that was my best day.
Oh, no, he's lying. The first thing I said when he came into the dressing room was, "Boys, look at this. Look what I got today."
Have any of you scored 4? That's the first thing he said there.
I don't think I've ever had 4 shots. Actually, no, on target.
All
right, we can stop laughing.
Talk us through your goals here, Joel.
Well, to be fair,
Tap-ins, wasn't he?
it all started with great pressure, especially I think with the first 2 goals. Like we won the ball up high, and you just saw they were so open, and I was just happy to receive it with loads of space and like close to the goal as well.
Now, I've got to say, I witnessed Mark Viduka get 4 goals here against Liverpool. I never witnessed it in 40 minutes. So me and Jermaine were just giving you the credit, and the team, obviously, for the press, getting the finishing, and obviously becoming the top scorer in the league at this moment in time with 19 goals. So we want to credit you, mate, and say well done. That was an incredible performance.
Thank you very much.
But also, Ethan, look, we laugh and joke saying that no Piroe, no party, right? 4 fantastic goals, great team performance, but without the defensive elements, that's another clean sheet. Phenomenal. What was the conversation at half-time? Because obviously, being, 5-0 up at half-time, it's something that we don't see often. What did Daniel say to you in the changing rooms?
I think, obviously, the message came from the boss, and before the boss had spoke, all us players had spoke as well, just to keep going. Show them the respect they deserve by playing our best throughout the game, not letting up and trying to be ruthless with it. As a team, we have very high standards, and that's what we wanted to show in the second half. People might say the game had done, but we wanted to make sure. And I was maybe quite critical in telling everyone to keep on it. I didn't want to add a yellow. I didn't want to do nothing stupid. So maybe I was just getting a bit of protection.
But how proud are you as a captain, Ethan, when you're leading these lads? And you're going on to performances like that throughout the season in a pressure moment to produce something like that. How proud does that make you feel? Because obviously we all follow Daniel and the boss, but you're out there leading the boys.
No, extremely proud. I think one thing that's so good is I might wear the armband, but we've got a squad full of captains and leaders. Whether that's putting 4 in the net or people talking, our team's very good at that, and it's one thing that we learned from last year. We had great leaders last year, but there was times where maybe we didn't all stick up for it, and I think that's shown this year. And like I said, maybe in a couple of hours we can celebrate, but for now, we just enjoy the performance.
I've got one. I want to just say to Joel, I heard a little rumour before the match that you were a bit nervous because you saw there was a special name that was put on the team sheet on the bench in Harry Gray. So you knew you had to get a big performance today before he got on, and you just put him in his place. But I mean, another magical moment to see a youngster come through in a forward play on Harry Gray.
Yes, no, of course, we congratulated him as well, and of course, we made it possible as well for him to get the chance, get his minutes, and we're just very happy for him as well. He has tasted now how it feels to play in this beautiful stadium, and like how it feels when everyone gets going as well. So it should just trigger him to want more as well.
But this is a question to both of you, Joel and Ethan. What is the feeling like at present amongst yourselves and your teammates?
I'm a bit tired, to be honest. Friday, Monday is tough. But no, I think it'd be silly not to say that we're over the moon. The atmosphere is so electric right now. I think that was shown within the fans at the end. But as players right now, we know it's not done. Until it's done, we can't fully celebrate. Like I said, start this. Hopefully, in a couple of hours, we can enjoy the moment a little bit more. But for right now, we're just enjoying that performance.
Yes, and we just know, well, from this weekend, like Friday, Monday, we have done our job, and now it's time to sit back a little bit and just watch what will unfold as well.
You certainly have done your job, and very well indeed. Huge congratulations. Ethan, we'll let you go to bed. Joel, we'll let you go and have a Peru party.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Enjoy, lads. Well
Nice
done.
one, boys.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Cheers.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it.
Another example there, Bridgie, of the camaraderie and morale amongst, and we talk about that so often about how important that is, the morale amongst them and the friendships that they have in that group to how they play on the pitch.
Yeah, of course. And I think he was saying that the leadership, he's selfless there when he said, I might be the armband wearer, but I'm not the only leader out there. We're a team. We always push each other. We strive. And what was incredible to hear there, 5-0 up at half time, and he's still going in and driving the same we want. We want more. The clean sheet mentality, second half, we might get other opportunities, and then acknowledging the fact that they've gone out and performed like that to give a youngster his opportunity. Yeah, just class.
You can see why Ethan Ampadu is the captain. I'm always so impressed with the way he speaks and the way he handles himself and his teammates, and you can see the respect that he has from them, can't you, Bex?
Yeah, but he's one of these people, vocally, he's got everything you need, alongside Joe Rodon. But at the same time, it's what he does, what he shows when he's on the pitch as well. He gives 110% every single game, which is infectious. Everybody else on the team will see what he's doing, see the work ethic, and they will use that as well.
Speaking of work ethic, sorry for looking over your shoulder. Just seeing the lads that didn't get on doing the sprints outside there.
Oh, I used to hate
Remember that? When you were the sub, you didn't get on, you're doing the sprints. But that means that everybody's doing the right preparation, the right recovery, just in case this doesn't happen today. Fingers crossed it does. But they've still got there's games to be done. So that the lads haven't switched off. They're doing the professional stuff once again.
Yeah.
What will Daniel Farke be saying to them? Will he be looking ahead to the next game already, do you think?
We'll be waiting to see what happens in the next, next 2 hours.
He's one of us.
He's one of
really,
us, of course he is.
But he will be already mentally planning for that game, won't he? I don't think he's the kind of manager that can ever switch off.
2 or 3 games ahead with the analysis, won't they?
I think they will know what they're going to do for the last game of the season against Plymouth before today had started. So regardless of what happens, win, lose or draw, we're going to perform like this against these lot.
Bristol City, Monday, Plymouth, they'll have the both. All the analysis will be done. They'll just be ready how they showcase that the players as and when they need it.
And which players he shows it to.
Correct.
He's always so pragmatic, isn't he, in his approach when he answers questions after the game. But how do you think he will be feeling right now?
He better smile when Tony and Bryn interview him. He's got to. He's got to break a smile because that performance, that will make anybody proud.
Well, let's find out.
Absolutely.
Is he smiling? Daniel Farke, the boss, is with Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo.
Well, I can tell you, Emma, that the manager is smiling, or will be shortly when we ask him about what he's just watched. That was really, really good, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm proud of the boys. It's not easy in this crunch time period, a bit nervous period then to deliver performances, but we have done this in all of the last game days in fantastic fashion. Also today against the side was actually in red hot form, so I think third in the form table of the last 5 games, unbeaten since a while, and then to win this game 6-0, front foot start, scored goal after goal, another clean sheet win. If we would have stayed with the foot on the gas in the second half, we could have perhaps scored a few more, but fantastic performance. I'm proud of the lads, also keeping in mind that this was a quick turnaround for us after pretty exhausting and energy costing away game at Oxford. Fantastic win for us, and of course priceless 3 points. Yes.
What was the message that you sent them out with today? Because whatever it was, I think they delivered it, didn't they?
Yes, just to stay in the here now and concentrate on what we can influence, because the outside world takes a home win for granted because of our home form, and was more concentrated about what will happen then later on in the day. I want us to stay humble and to stay focused on the contents, and to make sure that we play a proper game of football and are on it and want to win this game and are good in the details and don't lose our head and keep our coolness and keep our calm. And this is what the lads have delivered in fantastic fashion today, and for that I'm pretty proud of this mentality but also this spirit anyhow. So we have gone through the last weeks with fantastic unity and togetherness, and everyone wanted to chip in, and I think this is crucial for us.
I think today I didn't feel nervous. I actually felt really confident, but the way we started the game, we just blew them away straight away.
Yes, the energy we brought on the pitch was second to none today. Perhaps even in the beginning we could have been a bit more tidier with the ball, but it felt like we had so much energy and won so many balls, and it was never in doubt that we would win. But you have to bring it on the pitch. If you're starting into the game and thinking about, okay, what if, then you can't show this level of performance. You just have to focus on what we have to do, and this is what we have worked in the last days on, and let's delivered it in a fantastic fashion, and this was the key today. Yes.
So it's almost done. How do you feel about that side of things now?
I'm always nervous in this league. So if in any league something can happen, then it's definitely in the championship, and you never know. So this evening, two good sides play against each other, and if one side could go also to Burnley and get a result, then definitely Sheffield United under Chris Wilder. So, and if they win the game, then they will also win the last 2 games and finish on 95 points. So I'm just celebrating when it's really, really done. So I'm still focused. If there's something to cheer about in a few hours, yes, believe me, then I will also lose my nerves anyhow and will celebrate like there is no tomorrow. But right now I'm just concentrated and have a bit more work to do, and I will just celebrate when it's really done and over. But of course, the 3 points are quite important for us and feels a bit like at least a second-class step, and also for the goal difference. Anyhow, it was also quite important again. So for that, yes, we're in a good mood and with good hope.
Quite important, Daniel.
Yes.
I think you're right. It's quite important.
I hope we'll be seeing that in a few hours.
Absolutely.
Time. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Cheers, brilliant.
Brilliant.
Excellent, fantastic.
Well, fingers crossed we're all partying like there's no tomorrow. Tomorrow, Daniel. Well, tonight.
Fingers as well,
Isn't it bad luck with 2 fingers? Just one, lads. Just one thing.
Sorry, just one.
Good. He was saying there that he's still nervous, though. And you can totally appreciate that, because as nervous, excited, apprehensive, and as much as we're looking forward to these last few games, a lot of it rests on his shoulders, doesn't it, Bridget?
Certainly does. I just want to see him in 2 hours' time cracking open a bottle of champagne, celebrating, and I want to see him doing the dance with the fans through the window when everybody comes back to Elland Road to celebrate tonight.
We also heard him say, at the beginning we could have been a bit tidier with the ball, which just goes to show the level of perfectionism of this man, doesn't it? That we've seen a display like that, but his standards are so high that he can critique, and rightly so, any performance.
And that's why he's the manager. He's breaking down every moment of every game to make sure that he gets the best out of every single one of the players. There's still 2 games to go. There's still 2 games to play. And the most important thing for Daniel Farke right now, obviously, is the Burnley-Sheffield United game. But after this game, in 2 hours' time, reaching 100 points. That's still a possibility, and I'm pretty sure he'll want to reach that number.
Well, look, myself and Jermaine Beckford will be on this sofa for that Bristol City game, but we know that there's another big game kicking off in 2 minutes. We will say no more, but Leeds United are currently top of the Championship table after beating Stoke City 6-0. Enjoy that game. See you soon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Well, the game's really heating up now.